Welcome back to the Nikki Clarke Show. I'm your host, Nikki Clarke, and I just want to say I'm so happy that we're back during a very unusual time, but it's a necessary time to get conversations that matter out into the community. So I am here with three stellar individuals. They are the partners of Real Time Real Estate. Please welcome Stephanie Lowe, Ian Webster, and Annalay Ajooway to the show.
Thank you, Nikki.
Welcome.
Thank you, Nikki.
You're very welcome, and you all look very stellar, I have to say.
Thank you very
Stunning,
much.
stunning. Love the colors. So I want to say, how's it been for you on a personal level during these very strange times, Stephanie?
It has been quite the journey. It has, as it's been for everybody, on trying to get settled to this new norm.
Yes.
But there's been a lot of lessons learned and a lot of new opportunities coming out of it, and that's really what we want to do, is make the most of it.
Absolutely. And Ian, how's it been for you?
I would echo what Stephanie is saying, and there's been a lot of learning. COVID has brought a lot of simplicity to life. It's reset, what we're doing in life, and it's allowed us to really know what's important in life.
Right.
It's the simple things in life.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah. And yourself, Annalay?
I think I saw the power of people being brought together. I think just being able to, it had stopped everybody in their tracks. You had a moment to reflect on what was going on immediately in your own little world. You had a moment to reach out to people that were close by you and see what's, happening. And I think the togetherness, right? I know the people that you're closest to, checking on everybody, making sure everyone's okay, and how we're going to get out of this together more stronger than we were before it happened.
Absolutely, absolutely. Great. Thank you for your reflections. And I feel the same way too. I felt during this period of, I call it reflection, I really felt the urgency for connection, and for voices in however capacity of getting together. So it's really important to keep, like I said, the conversations going. Now, in the realm of real estate, I'm sure there must be a lot of changes going on. So first, tell me a little bit about how you got together in the partnership. How did Real Time Real Estate form? And how did you connect?
So I'll take the honors of talking about these amazing people.
Yes, please do.
So first, I've been a mortgage professional for a few years. I've come from a business and economic background, seeing that I did spend a lot of time in the fashion industry, but realizing how important finances were and financial education, I moved into mortgages, and I've also teamed up with these fabulous people. Stephanie, who has an award-winning real estate agent who has impacted people's investment portfolios, has shown people exactly how to leverage their wealth in the real estate market and even get into the market for the first time. She has made impacts on so many families, so I'm so happy to work with her. Ian Webster, who has 15 to 20 years of being an amazing financial advisor for people, helping them get over debt, realizing the power of budgeting, and also making smart financing in real estate. So we have been bridged together for about a few years now, and we're working towards expanding our impact and really bringing that energy into people's lives, where they can, no matter where they're starting from, they can get into the market and they can expand their portfolios.
Excellent, excellent. And can you describe what it's like right now, the housing market? How is that faring during this time?
You know what? Real estate has really shown its, its stability, its strength during this time. I know a lot of people were kind of maybe hoping or standing on the sidelines, waiting for the market to drop, so to speak. But it has stood very strong. Even most recently, I've seen houses selling 100,000, 180,000 over asking. So it's shown itself to be a really strong investment. Yeah.
Excellent.
Yes.
And Ian,
Yes.
tell me a little bit about the aspect of even during a lot of changes and people being being put in positions where maybe they've lost their job, how can they bounce back? How can you guide them back into kind of like a recovery from all this loss? What would you advise them to bounce back to, even like financial independence?
Right, great question, Nikki. The real estate market, the market in itself has really been unassuming for a lot of people. And, in terms of bouncing back, I think it's going to be very difficult for a lot of people to be able to bounce back, to be honest with you. I don't think that we've really seen the end of what, COVID has done to the economy. I still think we're going through that. As Stephanie said, there's not really any, any deals out there right now. So I really do feel that in terms of, what people have to do to be able to bounce back, it's going to be getting back to the little things like, budgeting their money, not spending more than they're making. They're going to have to really get down to the nitty-gritty and make sure that they're cutting down their expenses, because we're going through some really turmoil waters right
Yes,
now.
yes.
And I think it'll lead right into 2021.
Wow. So you think like another year yet before we can...
Well, definitely, I think right till the end of 2020 and into the beginning of 2021, we're going to see, a lot more impact to what COVID has done to our economy.
Okay. All right. With that said, so once we reach 2021, what are some of the, like, if you can name like 3 steps to building wealth, what are some of the...
Right. So definitely, we were talking about this earlier, and, one is definitely staying within your means, right? Stay within your means. Do not spend outside of your means. That's very important. 2 would be clean up your debt. We are living in a country and in a continent that we are heavily burdened when it comes to debt. Credit cards, loans, lines of credit, these things are at 19, 21%, right up to 30%. It's very hard to pay those things off when you get into that turmoil of debt. And, the last thing I would probably say is budgeting. A lot of people, some people have their budget in their mind,
Right.
but actually writing down your budget to see where your money goes and how you're spending is quite important, very, very important. I mean, I still do that myself. I know that I can waste money sometimes, and that budget really brings me back and puts me in line.
Okay.
With that, Nikki, I would like to add that never hesitate, no matter where you are, to consult with a professional. There's nothing wrong with sitting down with a professional. Most times, it's always, the consultation's free of charge. It could be incredibly insightful. And with a few pointers, you can just point yourself in the right direction on terms of, shortening the time it takes for the recovery and for establishing yourself for the next level of your financial success.
Okay.
And when she says using a professional, she's really saying use real-time real estate.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what you meant.
Right.
Fantastic,
Well,
fantastic.
oftentimes people are very fear-based they have so much uncertainty, whether it be on the selling side or buying side or looking at investing, and it really comes down to putting in the due diligence and doing the research and having the understanding, because there are so many opportunities in real estate, right? And but it's just making sure that you're in the right place and you've consulted the professionals to help you be successful from the beginning to the end.
Absolutely. So people that people can trust.
Right. Correct.
Fantastic. I think the question I have is, for those people who always had the dreams of owning a home, but life got in the way, COVID hit, or they're going through a range of experiences. Through your expertise, how would they prepare for home ownership for the first time?
That's an excellent question. Well, I can start and we'll probably add, really the process is here. Making sure that you've done the budgeting, that you've saved and you understand the expenses that are going to be involved in taking that first step, right? The credit is in, strong credit is in place.
Correct.
And then financing, having that initial kind of overview done to see where you lie, how much you'll need to have saved for a down payment, how can you improve your credit score, all those kind of things. And once all that base is set, then now you're ready to get out into the market. And sometimes people are very rigid about where they what they think they should own and where.
Mhm.
But once you get into the market and see what's actually happening, you really have to kind of let go of some of those things and keep consulting the experts, and we'll guide you. And it's a wonderful journey. I always try to prepare everybody. It takes a lot of patience. It's definitely a process.
Correct.
Right? Through
Correct.
all of the stages. But it's so rewarding, and it's
It
so
is.
wonderful to see people get settled into their new space and start to create these new memories. And it's beautiful. It's a wonderful experience to watch someone go through.
Right.
I can just imagine the
Yes.
joy of home ownership.
Yeah. It's just not real estate. It's their home.
Their
For a lot of
home.
people, it's their home.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And I think there's a lot of power in realizing, we're going back to the togetherness,
Mm-hmm.
that the opportunities lie also in co-ownership.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of
Good
people, they're single, they do want to get into a home, and there's partnerships that can be made, just as we made an alliance for the betterment of our clients. Sometimes making alliances with people who have the same objective and the
Yes.
same moral and the same energy, that they can get into the market together. And we really would like to see more of that in the community, and support that and educate people on the safety of co-ownership and going into the market with a friend, a family member,
Mm-hmm.
and how successful you can be in that.
The power of co.
Yeah.
I
the
love
power
it.
of
I'm
co.
all
The power of
about
co, right?
collaboration.
Yes.
Fantastic. I work with children, and I'm always amazed at how fast they learn, and especially they can adapt to things once they have good habits early. So how do you feel about teaching very young ages financial literacy? Do you think that's important?
Huge.
Yes.
It's massive.
Yes.
Massive, massive, massive. We all are parents. Stephanie has her son at showings. We're very, very strong on trying to integrate our children in the process, understanding from the jump what a mortgage is, what's a rent. I'm sure you integrate all that knowledge. We understand that generational wealth is just that. It's for the next generation and
Right.
generations to come. So when you're thinking about the home you're buying, you're living in it, but it's also something that you're looking to pass down to generations. And that generation understanding that, property has been a huge, huge vehicle for generational wealth.
Absolutely.
And that's something I really try to speak to my clients about as well when we're out looking at houses. I'll say, yes, this is your first home or your next home, but how can this also add to your portfolio in the future when you leverage off this property to move into your next one? Can we get rental income? Can this be used for your child's college, your university fund, to start a business? We want to be able to have these things in place, and it's good to start those conversations from a young age.
From
Yeah.
young.
Yes.
Okay, excellent. And I can hear too from your sharing that real estate is another great vehicle to start in another kind of trajectory of a career, right?
Right.
Because I've known Stephanie for some time, and you started out in a different kind of way, and now you're here just empowering so many people through real estate. So it's really fantastic. So without further ado, let's hear, how can people reach out and get some that information, consultation?
Great.
Let us know.
Well, we're very active on social media. We're on Facebook. You'll see us posting videos. We really are. It's important to get that education out and webinars that we do. So if we're going to be looking on Facebook, I'm Steph Lowe. This is Ian Webster and Annalay Ajooway. And we are also on Instagram. And I would be Stephanie_Lowe_realtor.
And I would be financial fighter, but when you're spelling financial fighter, don't spell it with a T-E-R, just spell it with a T-R at the end.
Yes, and I'm Annalay Ajooway. You can always find me right off of their pages, contacting them. I am a licensed professional with More Mortgage. But yes, we're very active, and you will find our information below.
Awesome.
Right.
And I'm just going to ask you one last question. I didn't, it's very on the spot, but if you could look into the audience lens and just offer some message of hope for people going through some challenging times.
Right.
Start with Stephanie.
Okay, definitely during this time, I would say take advantage of those opportunities for reflection, having that chance to really slow down and evaluate what's important to you, and just really look inside. I think that's really important during this time.
Awesome. Ian?
And I would say to continue to pause and reflect as to what's important in life. You know, I can say from, you know, my own example of this slowdown has been massive for me in my life. Just, you know, simple things like going on walks, you know, is massive. So yeah, I think the pause is good and use that to reflect.
Fantastic. Annalay?
I would definitely say don't forget the power of your thoughts and the power of your mind. It's really important to stay updated on news and what's happening in the world, but just monitor how much you take in and realize that you do have control over where your thoughts are going, and take time to project intentional positive thoughts, intentional positive imagery, intentional positive affirmations.
Yes.
There's a lot of power in visualization. There's a lot of power in the imagination. So visualize the safety of your family, visualize, you know, the success and overcoming whatever it is that you're facing, any adversity. Visualize you conquering it, and you'll see the power of your thoughts really manifest before you.
Well said.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
All right. Well, I'm so pleased to have Real-Time Real Estate here, Stephanie Lowe, Ian Webster, and Annalay Ajooway here, sharing their pearls of wisdom with us. I wish you all the best.
Thank you very much for having us.
Oh, it's a pleasure.
Yeah.
Thanks again.
Yes.
All right. We'll be back.
The Nikki Clarke Show, transforming lives one story at a time. If you would like to be a guest or become a part of our live studio audience, or even to become a sponsor, just go to www.NikkiClarkeNetwork.com.